Good morning. Good morning. Okay, I can't minimize. Okay, so we're going to get started. So, good morning, everybody. Thank you all for coming to and joining K1 Konnect Motivation. And this is day 13. Now, I'm joking. If I had to do day 30 up until day 30, I would do it. Somebody's clapping with me. Well, this is the last day. But anyway, so today we're going to talk about what is your mindset level and starting and stopping. And if anybody at the end, maybe one person share a testimonial. If you don't want to, you don't have to. We can go without that. But if there's somebody want to share something that, inspired them during these last 13 days, I welcome that. Maybe one or two people, but that's about it. So, what is your mindset level today? My mindset level is 10. Now, let me tell you why I said my mindset level is 10. So, that goes to show you that it's a feeling thing. It's because today I said it's day 13. So that means I don't really have to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning unless I want to. So most times our mindset level goes if we're feeling a certain way. But we have to learn. I hear some noise in the background, but it's okay. We have to learn that we can't go based on that feeling, but it is a 10 today. Any one person want to tell me what their mindset level is and say it out loud. So because I can't find that chat box. Anybody want to tell me what their mindset level is today? Okay, 1, 2, 3, the end. Okay, mine is a 10. So we're going to talk about this thing, what is starting and stopping all about. There are three areas that I want to touch. And number one, what is starting and stopping all about? And normally it is something that we all do. We start something and then we stop it and it's not finished. And we don't get to the finish line, and we are all guilty of it. But here's the issue: when it becomes a habit, if people can look at you and identify us and say that we're known for starting something and stop it, or we even look at ourselves and say, I start something and then I don't make it to the finish line. That's where the issue comes in at. We're going to read our Bibles more. We're going to lose weight. We're going to spend more time with our family. We're going to work on our social media page. We're going to start prospecting more. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And if we all think about it right now, then we can all come up probably with a list of things on saying that we start something and then we stop it. But what happens again, it's okay. But when you make it a habit, then that's when you want to start taking a look at yourself. Number two, why do we stop what we start before it's finished? And I just want to list a few things for us, because sometimes when we start a new project, we fall in love with the idea. We fall in love starting. We get excited, that adrenaline, boom, it just blows up. And we're motivated. And we come out running strong. We come out on a marathon and we come out doing a sprint. And in our minds, we think it's all good. But what we don't do, we don't give it thought in the beginning. We don't think about the obstacles that we could face. We don't think about the challenges. We don't think about the trials that we may come up against. We don't even think about those things right there. And so as we're doing our project or we're doing that activity, then we become to dread it. It becomes more than what we expected. It takes us longer. That negative adrenaline sets in. We don't have enough information to move to the next step. And then, so what happens, we come to a halt. We just freeze, we stop. And then we tell ourselves, okay, I'll get back to it, only to find out that we never get back to it, or we don't say anything and we just quit. And so then there's that starting and stopping all over again. Here's another thing we share with that inner circle, because our inner circle, they're supposed to encourage us, they're supposed to build us, they're supposed to help inspire us. But then we go to our inner circle and then we tell them what we're doing, only for them to shower us with a bunch of negative thoughts or saying what we do does not make sense or we're crazy. And so what we've started then we stop it because we letting them get into our minds saying that, this does not make sense or whatever their reason is. And most times they base our limitations on their limitations. And then our project is over. Here's some common words that come up to us: procrastination, fear, perfectionism, laziness. And those words can stop us completely in our tracks. And sometimes in a situation like this here, when we use the word fear, the reason that we're fearful of bringing it to the forefront and completing it because we're scared and we're fearful of others to judge our ability, or they're going to criticize us. So we put more energy on what we think others are going to think about us, and then now that project or that activity is dead. We no longer want to continue it. I know she couldn't lose that weight. Here she goes again. And when I was started working, when I graduated from high school, I started working and I started doing a lot of things. I started working at a local hospital. I fired them. I quit. I started a medical billing business. I started a teen magazine. I started selling gift baskets. I was doing social work. You name it, I was doing it. And people would say, "Girl, what you doing now?" Now, if I had let them bother me, I would not be on this call right now today. I would not be doing this webinar, this video today, because even though I started and I stopped stuff, but it was all to get me here. And I didn't let that negativity go into my ear because I knew for a fact, whatever I had to do, I had to enjoy. And I was never afraid to worry about what others would think about me. And so that's what we do. And when we start and stop, we stay into that syndrome. And people, my sister, she was saying something. I'm sorry, she caught me off track. So keep it moving. So that's a start and stop. But anyway, so we get into that start and stopping syndrome. How to overcome starting and stopping. Here are a few things that we can take with us before we start something, because we want to get to the finish line as much as possible. We want to make sure that we get to the end. So number one, speak life in the activity. Speak life in it. Start saying that you love it. Start saying, if you even if you don't like the gym, just start saying, "I love the gym. I love the gym. I love the gym." And because allow other people to say it, because when they see things, they start feeding off it. And then when people say things about us, then we start feeding off what they say. So if somebody says that I'm a winner, then I am going to speak that I'm a winner, and I'm going to believe that I am a winner. Sandra Percoin, I'm just going to use her as an example. People say Sandra is a beast in real estate. Well, guess what happens when she hears that? She feed into it. And so now in her mind, she goes and actually performs like a beast in real estate. So speak life in the activity. And when you speak life in it, people that surround themselves by you, they'll start speaking and saying the same thing that you're doing. Number two, recognize your patterns of starting and stopping. And then you have to first admit that this is what you do. So you want to take a pen and write down some of your past activities that you can remember, whether it's reading a book, prospecting more, walking more, learning a new language. Write it down, and then write down why you started the activity and when and why you stopped it. And so see if you can find any common denominators, and then that way you can reflect so that you can minimize and avoid those things what you do. Number three, be realistic. Stop thinking that you will be the first one to learn Greek in a week, or the first to complete writing a book, and you don't have to get it edited. We have to learn how to do research, and then we have to govern ourselves based on our ability. But now at the same time, we still have to recognize that we have to be able to push ourselves. And you don't have to push yourself at a higher level, but you always want to push yourself just a little bit more, just a little bit more. Number four, Do you have pleasure in it? Is that your passion? And when we love something and we have pleasure in something, then we can endure the challenges, we can endure the trials and tribulations just a little bit longer. And here's something on the flip side: make sure that there are some things that we're going to do and we're not going to have passion, we're not going to like it, but it's going to help us get to the finish line. So therefore we're going to have to push past it, and we're going to have to do it anyway, because we have to stay focused on the end results. Number 5, learn how to succumb to your feelings. And this is a major, major thing that most of us do. Our feelings are like an emotional roller coaster. One day they're up, then the next day they're down. They're up, they're down. If we can practice on how to deal with our feelings, then when we have the projects to take place, we've already created a habit that we're going to push through even though we don't feel like it. And then we can get to the end of our journey. We can get to the end of the road. And the last thing is, maybe if you notice you're that person that you start something and stop and you never get to the finish line, maybe you can work on breaking your project down. And what I mean by when I say break it down, forget the big picture. If you say that you want to work out for 30 days and you don't normally work out at all, then what you want to say is that here are 2 options. You may say, well, okay, I'm not going to look at the 30 days, even though that's my goal. What I am going to do is say, let me work out for 7 days. Let me just focus on the 7 days. So I'm going to break them down into smaller projects. So I'm going to say, let me work out for 7 days and see if I can accomplish that. Or maybe I can say I'm going to do 10 days where I'm going to work 10 times. I'm going to do 10 increments for 3 days. So I'm going to work out 3 days and see if I can get to those 3 days, and I'll do it 10 times, because now I'm breaking my project down into small pieces, small components, so that I can get to the 30 days if I'm always starting and stopping. And those are things that's important. And that really, when we can complete and go to the end and the finish line, it helps us reach our overall goal. And now, if anybody wants to share a testimonial, I would love for one person to do so. If you don't want to, then that is fine as well. I do really, really want to thank you all for those who came on with me for these 13 days. I do hope you all get something out of it, and so that you can, push past. And if you have any questions, please, please, please know that I am here for you. And I'll take time out, any trainings, any conversation, anything. I am here for you all as a broker. Anybody want to share a testimonial? I just share mine. Bum, 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 bum. Nobody wants to share a testimonial. I post these videos, so it seems like I'm on here by myself, but that is okay. I do want to thank you all for coming on, and make it a great day, because you all have that choice. And at this point, we are signing off.